Hi, this is Ray from the Hard-Ons, and we're in Jules-les-Tours in France. It's about, I guess, 4 hours southwest of Paris, and we've been to Europe many times now. We've been here with the Hard-Ons 88, 89, 91, 91, 93, 90, we broke up, and then 99, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2003 again, 2004, 2005, 2006 we went to America instead, 2007, 2009, 2011, 2012, 2014, 2017, so it's our 18th trip to Europe. So it's pretty good going for a band that's not exactly, flavour of the month. It's pretty good going, yeah.
Yeah, I'm Cash. I play in the Hard-Ons and I'm in Tours in France, on tour, in Tours.
I think Ray went looking for you.
So on tour, you want to know what it's like to be on tour with the Hard-Ons? Well, this is the third time that I've been to Europe with the Hard-Ons. It's fun. It's lots of fun.
I reckon the best thing is to get away from your family for a while, because they drive you nuts after all, don't they? But in all honesty, the worst thing is missing your family. That's easily the number one bummer about going on tour.
The worst things about being on tour is being away from your family. Lack of sleep, drinking too much, having too much fun. Those things they're bad too. Yeah, no, I think you just miss home. It's probably, you get a bit homesick maybe.
Oh, my number one probably be away from loved ones. Number two would probably be no food. Three would be no food, you're driving 10 hours without a bloody meal and that sort of crap.
It's taken me a while to just learn how it goes on tour with them. Yeah, I think it's a good thing. You learn a bit of respect for people's personal space. Because I think I'm not used to like longer tours, or I wasn't before. So I think going on a long tour, you learn to not fuck with people as much and get too fucked up. Even though I still do, but I can try to pull it back a bit. So I think it's made me a better person.
I really liked touring when I was younger because I had nothing else, you know, and it was great to leave Australia because Australia was just a small, you know, gig, and then you get to Europe and you just go, wow, there's place after place, venue after venue, festivals, and yeah, really enjoyed that part of being on the road, that time of my life, because I was committed 100% into it. Yeah, and then, you know, I got bored.
Well, this is the first tour with Kesh back in the band, so there's another dynamic. It's all different again.
This band I started with Blackie in my bedroom, and you know, it's easy to come back and just feel like you haven't been away even. Oh, you know, Blackie and Ray are great to work with. They're just focused, professional. There's no mucking around. We all know what we want out of a tour, and so we get it done, get the job done.
I like the similarities and the differences. The similarities are very clear. I mean, if your band is not good, then the crowds let you know. The PA has to be good. The room, it'll help if the room sounds good. Obviously, the 45 minutes on stage is identical to anywhere else on the planet.
This is fucking good.
You know what? I feel like kicking him, but then my foot will be on his bare ass.
Two moves and a hole in the middle, ladies and gentlemen. The French Eclipse.
Security!
That's it.
Never underestimate what you get at a hard-on show.
Come on, that's it. Fucking hell, we're not that good, we're not Bon Jovi.
But I also really like the differences. Just to give you an example, in France and places like the Netherlands and a lot of the places actually, the venues are funded by the city council. So that just, when you take away profit from the equation of playing a gig, then it becomes a lot less stressful for everybody. The very basic axiom that people that organise shows in France are taking is that music is good, okay? Music is good. So we need to have musical programs in our town. The flat guarantee we got came directly from government money. The accommodation and our dinner that they pay for and the breakfast the next morning all came from taxes paid by the people, you know. I just can't imagine that ever happening in Australia. Sydney's such a big city, it shouldn't have to be that difficult, but it is. There is going to be no funding from any government. So you come to France and you play a show, and as soon as your van arrives, 5 people turn up wearing leather gloves, ready to lug your gear. Some of them aren't getting paid. They're volunteers because they believe in it, you know. It's incredible. And then after the gig, all the bands and the people who work there eat together and drink wine, and you know, everyone's really happy, so everyone clinks their glasses of wine and stuff. Imagine playing a gig at Sando and trying to fucking have dinner with a metalcore band that just played after you. And with a bouncer from Sando, all the security from Sando and bar stuff, we all sit there and have fucking dinner together. Oh, that was a great gig, guys. You can go up to the top Eiffel Tower and have a fucking whooping good time. Sure, that's great. But I get a huge kick out of talking to people at shows and what their attitude towards a lot of things are, not just music. It's pretty fascinating stuff, seeing where the differences are and the similarities are. And a lot of times you always just realise how similar people are, really. A fuckwit is a fuckwit in each, in every country. It's the same thing, isn't it? A fuckwit in Australia, there's that equivalent somewhere in Germany or France.
I like the travelling. I like going to places that I haven't been. If I was on a Kontiki tour, they'd take me to all the touristy places, and I would get to spend all my days looking at things and whatever. But instead, we go straight to where we'd want to be, like a gig. I get to see awesome bands and meet cool people, and they know a lot of people. So yeah, there's that element.
There is one thing I do appreciate in the differences is that Australians are so lucky. Australian people who play in underground bands, I think they're so lucky that they've got it so hard. I know it sounds paradoxical, but to be treated so badly by so many promoters and venues and other bands that you support and the competitiveness of all the bands, not in Melbourne, because Melbourne is hold hands and sing along Kumbaya, But, in Sydney where bands are a little bit more competitive, a bit more aggressive, the fact that it's so hard to get shows, venues are closing, rent is so expensive, so you're stressed out by just living, let alone playing in a band. Just the idea of forming a band and maintaining it and going to regular band practice and all that kind of stuff in Sydney is quite hard, and I'm just so thankful that it's so hard because it makes a good band. All that hardship really does weed out a lot of people who just shouldn't even be there. Go and do something else. I know it's tough, but just do something else then. We turn up to our gig in Geelong half an hour late or something, still miles away from when we have to play. They go, well, now that you've turned up late, we're not going to let you set up your merch table. It's like, what, the lifeblood financially of the band is the merch table and you're not going to let us set it up. Things like that. I'm there going, wait a minute, it's our 30th anniversary. I've been playing in a band for how long and you're still talking to me like this? Oh, wow. Thanks for that. That just made me a little bit tougher. I'm just going to play a little bit harder. The songs will be a little bit better. I appreciate playing in a band. It makes you really appreciate that 30 minutes to 45 minutes on stage all of a sudden becomes a more valuable thing in your life when it's that tough. So I'm really thankful that it's like that in Australia. But, a little bit of fucking government funding wouldn't go astray, would it?